Dustin Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dustin Rider here with my review of the Legacy Pycho Green Ranger figure from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic series. For those of you that are wondering, you know, hey, there was never a Pycho Green. You're right, I'm a liar. No, I'm just kidding. This is from the Boom Studios MMPR comics, specifically from the 1969 MMPR Rangers storyline. So yeah, I have seen questions in the past whenever he's been brought up on my channel or just like anywhere else. But anyway, as per usual, I'm going to start with the packaging because that's everyone's favorite part. But it is really nice collector's like grade packaging if you want, you know, to keep that type of stuff. Like this is the sleeve that goes over this, so that's actually really nice. Let's move this out of the way. This isn't what's important, but it's got really cool art on the front. I really like it. You got the 25th anniversary logo there, and on the back there you can see, hold on, I'm gonna get it to focus. You can pause it there and read it. Like that's the story of, you know, him from the comic, and then, you know, obviously that's a, you know, picture of the toy itself. And then the Legacy packaging is not really that different than the other ones. It's just, I like the way this lightning bolt has his image there. Like, it looked really nice when it was in the package. Like, if for whatever reason you bought one to, or just the only one you bought to hang up, it looks okay. It is kind of weird, even though I know this comes from the comics, to see like, oh, Pycho Green, and then, oh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because that is the series he's from, because it's from the comic. And then, you know, another image back there. But yeah. He comes with one accessory, which is his dagger right here, which was been stolen by Grace at the end of the comics. Spoiler alert. Or not like the end of all comics. Actually, I'm from the future. I've seen the end of the comics. But like, I mean, from the end of that specific storyline. But you have that. It's actually really nicely painted. They have some really nice, like, shiny paint on there. Like, well, shines nicely. Like, I think they did a good job on it. Like, almost, well, practically figure arts level, at least in terms of that. So look-wise, this is pretty cool. I have to say, this is the first comics-based figure that I have in hand. The first one announced was Draken, but everyone, you know, we got this one first. And despite the fact that the Pycho Rangers, like, proper were announced quite a while ago, this and Pycho Silver are the first ones we're getting, which is interesting. And the mold is pretty solid look-wise. Like, this is definitely still flawed Legacy Collection stuff, guys. But still, it is pretty neat on two levels to have Pycho Ranger figures and to have one from the comics. So I am a little bit jazzed up from that. Like, I like this figure a little in a biased way just because of that. But I do think it looks nice. Like, I think the green paint they got has a really nice shine to it. Like, it doesn't look weirdly dull or really inaccurate. I mean, I guess, you know, it doesn't really shine there. But I think it's pretty solid. And I think they got the proportions right. Like, for the helmet, I really don't feel like there's anything jumping out at me like, oh, it's too skinny or too fat or weird or something. Nice plastic for, like, the black armored pieces kind of got, like, a nice shine to it, but not too, like, cheaply shiny and stuff like that. You know, you got the details here for the belt, so... Detail and the white contrasts off of it really nicely. Like, I don't know. I think they did a good job on the details. Like, I'm not really disappointed. Not like the most perfect thing ever, but just for that, I'm, you know, like, well, just not disappointed. Articulation, pretty par for the course. If you're familiar with the Legacy line, you have a pretty solid hinge joint here, all around motion. You got your swiveling, you got your elbow joint here. Swiveling here at the fists, you only have the one kind of closed fists there. Leg joint here, swiveling, knee joint there, double knee joint, so you get some pretty good action there. A little ball hinge joint here on his foot. And then unfortunately you still do have that, for whatever reason they think it's really awesome to have a hinge joint here instead of just like a little, I don't know, more normal rotating joint. Like, I think it does look a little bit less awkward on him because he's kind of armored, so like you can't see it as much. Like on some of the regular Legacy figures you get this like obvious hinge here, but it still is weird. And the figure, while not like uber loose or anything like that, definitely has a little bit of loose problems. Like that's gonna vary. You might get one and it might be tight like a tiger, but you might get one and it might be way looser than mine. Mine's kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, the legs aren't loose where I'm like, you know, doing this and they're going, but they definitely feel a little loose, and this hinge feels a little loose, which kind of sucks because it makes, like, the center of the figure feel really, like, not unstable, but just kind of weak. So, yeah, the Legacy mold's always been okay. It's just been a little bit, you know, iffy for sure. To wrap this up in like a little Pycho Green bow here, because this is an interesting review, because You know, I think this is one of the better Legacy figures for me personally. Again, a little bit biased just because I'm excited for a Psycho figure, I'm excited to have a comics-related figure, and you know, we very well could get stuff like this in the Hasbro era, but for now we don't know. So if you really, really want this, you know, if you're a huge Psycho fan, huge Psycho Green fan, I can definitely recommend trying to check it out. You know, try to find one on eBay or something, or, you know, maybe you had a friend that has an extra. I can recommend checking it out, even though it still has some of those, you know, Legacy collection imperfections for sure. It's still a pretty cool figure to have, and honestly, like, those nitpicks aside, it still looks pretty solid. Like, it's a pretty cool looking figure. I dig it, you know, not like the oh my god pinnacle of my collection, but it's definitely a figure that I'm really excited to have in the collection just because of, you know, who he is and stuff. And there is Silver. I am going to be covering Silver. It's going to take a little bit longer just because that one I did pre-order through Entertainment Earth's, like, surplus pre-order thing, so I don't know when that's going to arrive or if it is. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course climb the steps and ring the bell to get the notifications for all my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.